3, 2, 1.
There we go.
Hello.
Hello, welcome to the Diva Days for Lives. This is Carrie. You can find me on Twitter at Diva of DOOL. Our website is divaofdool.com. Instagram, diva_of_dool. And we're also on YouTube. We should be on Facebook Live, Twitter Live, and YouTube Live right now. And please like, subscribe, follow, and share. So tonight we have Anna here from the Witless Protection Program.
Yes. Hello. Hello. Undisclosed location. Yes. And you can find me, not literally, but you can find me online on at Kazi Hooch on Instagram and Twitter or X.
Marianne?
Yes. You can find me at mama_hooch on Twitter. And I'm also on Instagram and on Facebook.
And Miss Jen.
Hi, I'm at REXJDK at Twitter.
Alrighty. So did you guys get to see everything this week?
Yeah.
Yeah. And happy 60th anniversary day. Today's
Yes.
Today. Yes. 60 years. 1965.
It was a very good year.
That's the year my parents graduated high school. That's how
This
long
year I
it
was born.
I was 8. I was 8 and started watching Days probably about 3-4 years after that. Yeah, when I was about 11.
Long time fans.
So it's been a long time. Yeah.
Did you? I'm hoping that they recorded tonight's event and we can watch it somewhere online later.
It's
Is that
probably on YouTube. It was live.
Okay.
It was red carpet, but I don't know. Are they having any other event? I don't know.
No,
the
I think it
gala?
was that one, but
Yeah,
I
it's
was
nothing to write home about. Because
really
I was watching it live. Yep.
wasn't. They didn't. It was like the red carpet, and then
Interviews.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Would have been better if the fans were there, right?
Oh my gosh, yes. Because I'm thinking that the guy that was interviewing probably had no clue about the history of Days. He just has he had questions prepared,
E-News. Yeah.
Yes. But I did see a part where Dish and Days was there too. So I was watching some of the ones where Tony was there interviewing, which was much better. He's much better at it because he knows, the characters, the actors. Oh, yesterday was also Teo's 44th anniversary of appearing on Days.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
November 1981. So it's been 44 years, off and on. He's been there that long, off and on, not continuously, but he's been a good bit. So that's when he started.
I think Lauren Koslow's her 30th might be coming up January 25th.
No,
If it wasn't last year, it was this year.
Yeah.
Or it's coming.
And James Reynolds was around the same time because I think he started just a little bit before Teo did.
Yeah, 1981.
Yeah, a little bit before. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, speaking of Kate, Anna, do you have a Kate update for us this week?
Yeah. Well, they did explain why she wasn't at the Anastasia Sands rollout or reveal. Apparently, she got stuck in traffic coming back from Chicago. So, anyway, yeah, that was I was like a sad panda when she wasn't there for that event. But they did at least explain it. It wasn't like it was completely ignored that she wasn't there, which was good. But yeah, she looked good, and she mostly. Let's see. She mostly had scenes with Philip, and is that all the scenes she had this week? It was just on Tuesday.
Yep, that was that.
And why the hell she wasn't invited to the baby boy coming home, I don't know, because she's equal to, technically she's not Johnny's, she's Allie's great grandmother or grandmother, but still, she was close to those kids all those years. So anyway, she was as much, I'll just stop the commentary right there. But anyway, so don't get me started. Oops, I already did. I will, but anyway, so she had a good conversation with Philip, and maybe you guys have better insight. I didn't really understand what she was offering Philip, but she was concerned about Titan and she wanted to be supportive. And of course, she's already heading apparently they repeated it a few times this week, the only sector of the business that's actually making a profit, which is Stephanie's novels and what Kate is in Kate's publishing wing. So I'm not sure how much else, certainly she could do a lot of things because she's been off and on at Titan for decades, but I thought it was really sweet of her, though, to be like, this is your legacy. This is Victor's legacy. I don't want to see Titan go down, because of all this. And if there's anything I can do, I was waiting for her to say, short of taking my salary. But no, she didn't say that part. But I mean, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if Kate still has a stash or not of funds. She doesn't seem like she's suffering any. Um, but anyway, my point is that she was being a mom, and concerned that Titan get built back up. And she's like, they've been reminded a few times that Maggie and Philip and Alex and I don't know about Alex, but and Xander's personal wealth is tied up in all this, that it's not like they might have like piles of cash somewhere else. They put everything into trying to salvage this thing. So I'm not sure if I don't know if Kate was offering to restart the illicit drug sales or what used to happen. It's like, no. But anyway, if anybody has any ideas on that, jump in. Feel free to jump in, because I'm not sure if she was saying she'd be willing to do more, which might make her butt heads with Maggie, which could kind of be fun, as long as Kate wins. But anyway, so they, and then there was side conversations that involved Kate, which were Philip telling Xander, and then Sarah and Brady that I think that Kate cannot find out that Xander really did almost kill him or take him to within an inch of his life anyway. They didn't say that, but I did notice, however, that Sarah, in a shout out to us older folks, had 2 or 3 good old fashioned sayings that she uttered that were things that were very much throwbacks. I can't remember what they were, but it was when she was in the pub talking to Rachel.
Yeah.
Rachel. And I can't remember what they were. They were kind of cute, but it was funny because it was like, oh, wow, I bet the younger people that watch probably don't know what that means, but anyway.
She said knee high to a grasshopper.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then there was another one too. That's why I thought that's interesting.
Okay.
Either the script writer for that week, for that episode is older and uses references that are older, or else, stuff that most of our audience will know, but anybody younger would. Anyway, so they basically all agreed that they need to keep this secret from Kate, which of course means she's going to find out.
Of course.
Of course.
And I don't recall her being in any. I didn't see her in any other scenes. Did you guys?
Was it?
No.
Okay. Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah. So that's my Kate report.
Yeah, well, it's at least nice to see her I don't know why she's not on more often.
Yeah.
Really
Yeah.
didn't.
I'm glad too.
Yeah, I just remember too, was Susan there for when they brought the baby home? The other grandmother?
No.
No.
She wasn't there for that. She was there. She was with Chanel at one point, wasn't she? She was with somebody. Oh, Stephanie.
She was with
Stephanie. She was warning Stephanie.
Anybody want to talk about the pumpkin chunkin?
Well, at least for Brady kind of like got tough with Rachel finally a little more than he usually does. But yeah, I guess Alex, well, they were going to try to hit Kat, and they hit. Alex was coming. I don't know. It looks like somebody was going to stab Alex, and we do find out later that they did get part of his shirt with the knife, I guess. I don't know. It was just a strange way that it showed. I don't know. The guy had the knife up in the air, and they said, look out. And I don't know. He must have walked in front of, or he was pushing Kat out of the way. I guess I think the guy with the knife was going after Alex, right? If we think it's Jeremy. Or would they go, or is there somebody going after Kat? I don't know, but I guess they lead us to believe it's Jeremy. So he steps, and he's the one that gets knocked out by the pumpkin. I guess it actually knocked him out.
Has a hard head.
It knocked him out.
Now, he didn't remember the part about almost being stabbed, though. I thought when he said look out.
I guess they didn't see him. I guess.
He didn't see it. I thought when he said look out, I thought the way they filmed it, I thought he saw the person trying to stab, but that would have been behind him. So he wouldn't have seen
he
that.
he must have saw the pumpkin coming.
Yeah.
He said, look out. And too bad it didn't hit Kat. But anyway, so I guess they figured out somehow. How did they figure it out? Or Chad figured it out that he must have saw them over there like laughing. Everybody remember
Well,
that?
Jeremy showed up, and actually, didn't Jeremy put the knife down when he walked into the scene? He saw the kids and realized what had happened because they had turned the catapult around or something.
Okay.
I could have sworn he put the knife
And
down
yeah.
when
And
he
Alex,
walked.
yeah. Okay. See, I didn't
And
see
so he
that.
was like, I told you guys not to touch this thing. I was only gone for a second. I was
Right.
waiting for him to say, I was trying to stab Alex. Thank you
Right.
for doing my job for me. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes. But well, Alex blamed him, meaning he should have, he left it unsupervised. So it was
Right.
his
Which
fault.
he did.
So
So
yeah.
by the time Chad showed up, it was obvious what had happened.
Yes. But so we'll see what else. And I guess he talked I don't know. I know Rachel's supposedly grounded, doesn't have a phone, doesn't have this, doesn't have that. I don't know. I don't know what happened to Chad.
And she's not supposed to go
Thomas.
see her mom.
Oh, not supposed to go
Which
see your mom.
is she gonna make sure she doesn't take another Uber to the
I
shape
don't know.
10?
He's tried to prevent that before and that didn't work.
Yeah.
Nothing's gonna work with that kid. So
If she doesn't have a phone, that'd be kind of hard for her to get an
Yeah.
Uber.
I don't know.
Yeah. So,
Well,
but
I cheered a little bit when Brady actually got some stones.
He needs to be a parent.
Yes, he finally is a little bit better than he's been before.
yeah, he even caught her on her telling Thomas that she chased Ava all the way to China, that she was bragging about that.
Yes. Did you say that? Yeah. Yeah.
She was busted all the way. Thomas squealed
Uh-huh.
on everything Rachel was telling him. Yes,
But yeah, Kat always seems to be around when Thomas is there, and they have to know that they're going to run into each other. But when they do run into each other, they're usually hugging because of something going wrong. So.
Yeah, and I just realized too, Thomas might, even though he's young, he might end up being my diva of the week. And I know that doesn't come till later in the show.
Yeah. Yeah. I was
He's
thinking
getting
the
a
same
little
thing.
bit. He's getting a little bit close to Sammy territory at this point.
Yeah.
I never thought of it that way, but yeah, I guess it's kind of like Sammy trying to break up John and Marlena. Oh, speaking of Sammy,
But
we see her next week.
yeah. And she's engaged.
Yeah. And Allison's been on Twitter a lot the last week.
Oh, that's cool.
Is it Lucas?
Lucas is back too.
I hope
yeah.
it's Luca.
Or is it Brandon or somebody
Or-
new?
So it was funny because Allie put on Twitter, she's like, who's Sammy engaged to? Wrong answers only. So of course I tweeted back, she's engaged to Stan. She responded,
Yeah, I saw that.
and she's like, I don't have a picture of that. So I guess she doesn't have a picture of herself with Dan Wells, which it seems so hard to believe.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was cool though that she mentioned it. I mean that she responded.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, she was pretty responsive during that. Yeah.
We did get a Lucas mention, so maybe that is who that would be my pick
Yes.
as to who she would be coming back with
Yeah.
and being engaged to.
The only pairing I ever liked her with.
The only downside is she really doesn't want to be a regular, so that would mean that Brian would be going in and out of town
Right.
instead of just coming back and being back. So
But they don't even use him when he's not engaged to Sammy.
I know. What I'm hoping maybe it's false hope, but I'm hoping that maybe him appearing will. I'm glad they are bringing him for this, and I hope that they have something for him, a story or something,
Yeah.
or some part of a story.
He's a perfect leading man for days.
I just love him, and I did love Lumi.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I actually like Sammy with Rafe though too.
Eh,
Have to admit.
I did like them in the beginning.
He's and Rafe's relationship's always been really sweet. We saw some of that this week when we talk about the baby thing. We can talk about that, but whenever that is. But they've always had a really sweet relationship.
Mm.
Yeah. I wanted to fish up with Rachel. Susan and Rachel had the interaction this week.
Oh yeah.
That was a diva showdown between those two. Susan was pissed.
Yes.
she needs
Susan knew. Susan has her number for sure.
to,
She
she
knows.
needs to turn into Mary Moya and whack the kid's knuckles.
Rachel say something about her outfit or something.
Yeah.
I can't remember what the line was. But
But
it was
yeah,
pretty
she
good.
had put down the outfit. Yeah, I don't know exactly how she said it, but yeah.
You're something like, you're going to say that to me in that outfit or something like,
Yeah.
oh, she's so good. It was a great scene. Yeah. I rewatched rewatched Monday through to Wednesday this week. I was kind of surprised how much stuff I didn't remember, and Susan or Rachel was fantastic. Okay.
Well, and what's really funny is she plays her mother in the other, that must be
Yes.
kind of interesting dynamic in that she has to know that that's the lady who also plays her mom on this
Mhm.
show. So kind of funny. But yeah, that was fun. That was really fun.
Johnny and Chanel are in the square, and actually Johnny's kind of watching to sorrow for Leo for a second, and they get the news that they got approved to adopt a baby, and Leo found out at the same time. And I say those were pretty emotional scenes with the Hernandez family.
Yes, they
Yeah,
were.
especially Hobby.
Oh,
Yeah,
all of, I mean,
All of them. Yeah,
yes.
Leo too, but yeah, especially those two.
I mean, I thought they were very well written and performed,
Mhm.
of course, but very well written. When Johnny asks Rafe if he'll be the baby's honorary grandfather, and I'm like,
Even Rafe got a little bit emotional. Whoa.
yeah,
Saw a little bit of emotion from him.
yeah, and of course Rafe had to turn around and throw that in EJ's face too.
of course,
Yeah.
smug,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes, while John and Chanel were in Belle's office signing the adoption papers, EJ comes in. He's like, "Oh, by the way, I talked Amy Choi into letting you guys adopt the baby."
Yes.
And noticing he's forgetting to mention the part about he promised Amy Choi he would never have anything to do with
To
the
do with
child
them.
because he's already talking about, well, I'm hoping someday Johnny will let me.
Right.
He only said that to manipulate her, but I'm glad he did, but he
Yeah,
definitely wanted credit, even though honestly, Aaron was probably the more.
I think Amy Choi ought to get it involved with EJ.
They might be good
She
together.
needs to lighten up. She needs to go to the dark side a little bit.
That's never stopped anyone, Salem.
We haven't seen her husband yet. I don't know. So I don't know. They kind of had a little bit of a dynamic going there, EJ and Amy.
Yeah, I
So,
liked those scenes. I thought that was good.
And Brady, too.
they're pushing Brady and Sarah, I guess.
yeah,
Eh,
needs to break. I don't know how far it's gonna go, but man, they're really
yeah.
pushing Rachel and Sarah though.
Yeah.
And,
So
Sarah,
does
Sarah knows.
Rachel not know that?
No, she doesn't.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know that until those scenes that she didn't know that history.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm assuming they're gonna go there, but Sarah raising Rachel for a year though, I mean, she's not gonna know where her tickle spots were.
Yeah.
Here.
She was also a doctor for all
Yeah,
those.
I gotta say that I didn't. My oldest man, I love tickling him. He just squirms and squeals like a baby. That is cute though. And so Johnny and Chanel ask Leo and Hobby to be the godparents.
Aw.
That was sweet.
That was sweet.
When Ari found out that the baby was adopted, she got upset, and actually Aaron was the one consoling her,
Mhm.
and it's son.
They're
Which
really cute.
Yeah.
There's a cute dynamic, a sweet dynamic with them. I like them.
Yeah.
I think he's growing on her.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
was seen
You
as
know
one
what?
of the bunch.
And honestly, I feel like Aaron, the guy that I don't know the actor's name, but I think he's done an exceptionally good job. And I think the writers, once again, have done a phenomenal job of showing the pain and anguish and joy, all the aspects of it, and also not ignoring the consequences of, things that happen that create, like Aaron's like, I just hope he's smarter than I.
right.
But I thought it was very sensitive. Of course, those of us who have been in adoption, have been adopted, or have any kind of aspect of that, all that, you're definitely like watching it on several levels. But I'll tell you, I thought they all handled it beautifully, and the writing was excellent.
I did want to mention too, there is a shortage of foster parents out there. So if anybody's interested in fostering, yeah, please reach out to your local organization, especially if you're willing to bring in a teenager too. There's a lot of teenagers right now that don't have a foster home to go to. So I just heard about that in Pittsburgh. There's a huge demand for foster parents. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
sure.
I mean, God bless them. I can't imagine taking somebody into my home and then knowing they might go away. Like I know people who fostered like puppies and kitties. I couldn't even do
I
that.
couldn't
Me
even do
either.
that.
I'd never
I
be
know.
able
I
to let
couldn't do
them
a
go.
dog. No. Uh-oh.
No, I wouldn't want to part with them. Yeah, so
That's why they call them foster fails when the foster ends up with the foster parent, like in terms of cats and dogs. But
mhm.
you're usually dealing with litters, so that's a lot of fails if you
Yeah.
take all of them. But yeah, there's a special the people out there that have that gift, and that's so important.
Yes, they're really looking into people who used to foster too, because they can get them into the system again real quick. So because they don't need to necessarily go through all the training again. So yeah.
Well, and it was actually even a little bit realistic with the firehouse situation because Rafe had
Right.
already been a foster parent. So that was kind of genius the way they wrote that to where
Mhm.
Hottie could be the one that finds him. They let him bring him home, but like, okay, he could all be under the baby could be under the umbrella of Rafe Hernandez being the so-called foster parent, even
Guardian.
though because he was already in their files and already approved and all that. So
Yeah. And
yeah.
I like that she left it in a safe spot.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, all of that. Yeah.
That they have that available for young girls that,
Yeah.
they leave it somewhere safe and they won't get in trouble
Right.
for
Yeah.
like giving up the baby, leaving a baby.
You know,
Or
who
at a
knows what
hospital. Sometimes they have that too.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are certain designated safe spaces. So, yeah, safe
Right.
places. Well, I just feel like I think that storyline has engaged me more than any other for a while now. I mean, some of it got way stretched out too long, but I think Sophia was pregnant for like 14 months. No, felt like it.
Felt
Well,
like
yeah.
it.
But I thought they grew that up. They built it into a pretty solid umbrella story. And it's pretty good, I thought. I mean, and I think the way they're responding to this side of it too is really powerful. And one thing I loved about what Aaron said, I can't remember if I think he said it to Tate, but I'm not 100% sure. He said, the thing that did it for me more than anything, because I know they're going to be great parents, is how Chanel took my sister under her wing and
Oh,
was there for her. I
Yeah.
just like I get teary eyed just thinking about the way he said that. She took her in during the blackout. She took her in at the bakery and made her a part of their team and really and she showed up for her. She said
Yes.
he said, but she showed up for her at different events at school and was it gymnastics and some other things. And I just like that part just, you know, so I love the way they're writing him not to be an a-hole, like, oh, I'm glad I'm done with the kid. Well, that was a bullet dodge. I mean, obviously he knew that he was not ready to be a dad, but he's even feeling bad, kind of
Yeah,
angry
he's
with
still
Sophia,
torn. Yeah.
but also bad for her in the situation she's in. And anyway, I don't know. I honestly feel like they deserve an Emmy for that story or the scenes and stuff. I don't know, somehow. Anyway, that's my take on it.
yeah, they were showing everybody's point of view, but sometimes it tends to be just
One.
one-sided. But it's Johnny
Right.
Chanel, it was Sophia's mother, Aaron's side, Hernandez and Javi's side, and yes,
And he's
it was.
adorable. When they finally showed
Oh
his
my
little
gosh.
face,
It's so
he's so
cute.
cute. And did you see when Chanel picked him up, he was like giggling and all. They must have timed that perfectly between naps and got the happier of the two
Yep.
twins. They were in the best mood that day
Yeah.
because he couldn't have acted that more if he had tried, if he was actually an actor, however 4 months old or whatever. That was so cute.
Yeah, I wonder when Sophia's gonna come back and how she's gonna react to all of this. Just all
Oh
this
yeah,
happening
that's gonna be
Mhm.
interesting.
while she's catatonic, really.
She already lost her rights, so
Right.
it's
Yeah.
not like she can really come back, but is she gonna like so many people that either escape or get released from Bayview, that's not the end of their mental illness,
No.
as we've
It
seen.
doesn't go. Their success rate isn't too good at Bayview
Mm,
or in the prisons system, or they
No.
get out of prison,
Or in the
escape from
hospital.
prisons. Yeah. Statesville. I was trying to think, what's the name for it?
Well,
Statesville and Bayview.
yeah, and let's see what else is going on. So also with EJ, we had EJ was talking to Abe. Abe wants him to basically get Theo out of Demira, and Gwen kind of clocks it that she thinks EJ's the one who made Tony disappear.
Yes, she
Hmm.
accuses him of that, yeah. Because apparently they made Dimitri disappear, those two, to get, EJ was involved in that, because they've been planning that thing with the lab, I guess, to get her money, or to get his money, I guess.
Yeah.
So
You
she
know, I
automatically
really
thinks,
it's
yeah.
they're making it sound like they killed him, right? Or had him killed. I really hope that I mean, I don't care if Dimitri comes back or not.
No,
I
I
could
think they
care
just said
less.
disappeared. They didn't, well, yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think he's killed.
But and then when she said something like, I'm sending him on a
Be surprised he
him on,
doesn't show up somewhere.
yeah, she told EJ, yeah, I'm
When they
sending
start talking about him,
him on a
yeah,
wild goose chase or whatever because we both know he's not going to turn up or whatever. Well, that could sound like they did him in, but also he could be locked up somewhere in their control
somewhere
too.
else, yeah.
He's in the
Yeah,
I just
house.
Gwen
hope
said
that's the
he
case only because I
Gwen
don't
set
like
him
to.
somewhere where he's not. Where is it? I
Right.
forget where she said.
Carousel. Get us out.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, there was
Yeah,
kind of a nod to the actor about, oh, maybe are you sure he was spotted there? Maybe it was some Hallmark actor or something. And that Peter Forte, whatever, I think that's his name. He's in a lot of Hallmark movies.
oh, I didn't know that.
What?
Hmm.
I did
So
not
that was
know. Is
kind of a
that his?
nod to that.
Oh,
The
that's
guy that
interesting.
the actor that plays Dimitri. Yeah.
Well, did you guys catch too that EJ had a conversation with Rita on the phone,
Hmm.
and it seemed like Rita again is the one handling these grown ass men and hiding the lies.
Yeah.
She the bag woman?
She probably knows about Tony too.
I think she's the one who got Tony. Yeah,
Yeah,
Oh.
I think so.
yeah. So
But
he
yeah, well,
was. I'm
did you
sorry.
say who EJ said was donating? Was that what you were going to talk about? Donating to the fund or something? To the gala?
Yeah, yes, it was Lionel and Augusta Lockridge from Santa Barbara.
Santa Barbara.
My old
Okay.
favorite soap opera. Yes, they were played by Nicholas Coster and Louis Sorel.
Lisa Rowe. Yeah.
Vivian.
And what he mentioned something that was in reference to that?
Yes, they donated money to the gala, the Lockridges from Santa Barbara.
Okay. Oh, how funny.
Yeah.
That was cute. I wanted to go back to a bit with Abe. So Abe, Paulina, and Roman were at the pub together, and I thought this was rude. I didn't appreciate this. Abe kept taking shots at Paulina in front of Roman, and
Yeah.
I just didn't like that. I don't think you do
Yeah.
that.
Abe's I don't know. Is that kind of out of character for Abe? I don't know.
Mm.
To be
Well,
like
now
that.
he wants to work with EJ to get to oust his own son from the company.
Yes.
Jeez.
Yeah. I don't know. He's acting like a Demira, like he doesn't want Theo to be like.
And Roman did say to Paulina, he's like, "You don't know the Demirs like I do."
Yeah.
Basically
Yeah.
telling her, concerns are valid. Basically, she didn't mean to. I mean, it's hard, if you have your stepson is trying to confide in you, and that's a hard position to be in.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
And she
I don't
didn't
know.
tell him to take it. She just, said he would be good for it. It, was his decision, which it's right. It is his decision.
I mean, yeah, he's pushing 30.
Yeah.
He can
Yeah.
make his own decision. I mean, that'd be
Right.
hard to turn down. Someone's handing you an empire to run.
But I'd be wary of running both of those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not that many employers either in Salem, so
That's true.
where
Yeah.
they also
Take your
work.
pick, Titan or Demira right now.
Yeah,
Patch or whatever it is.
Black
Black
Patch,
Black Patch,
or the bakery,
the bakery, the hospital,
hospital's always hiring.
Saks Town Square.
now the clinic.
Brady Pub.
Yep. Okay.
Also, one kind of interesting, I don't know why was, Paulina back at the baby shower, which didn't seem to go very far. I thought we were going to see people celebrating the baby shower, but they moved on from that pretty quickly. So, right? I mean, because they were there
Yeah,
at
when
the
they brought
house.
the baby home.
Belle, Marlena, Paulina, and Chanel and Johnny. They didn't have
Right.
Kate. They didn't have other
There wasn't
people
much
there.
of a baby shower. Not many
But they
people
could
there.
only stay and have this food and all that. So I hate it when they go too soft on all that stuff. But Paulina told a little story about how to Marlena how Chanel when she was little would play with her little baby dolls and then stuffed animals and stuff, and then she'd say but someday I want a real one. Like she talked about her dream was to be a mother. So the way she said it was so, like, kind of had such heart in it when, Jack Tay delivered those lines. I thought, "I'm just curious if she has any kids," and I looked up, and she, and her second husband and now ex-husband, but they adopted a baby boy, or I'm not sure how old he was,
Hmm.
in 1997, so she's actually an adopted mother. So I was thinking she was probably processing the story in a certain way too, you know? So I thought that was kinda cool.
That's pretty neat. I didn't know that. And well, it's the whole thing with Stephanie. I thought this part was kind of funny. Alex was confronting Jeremy about the pumpkin, and Chad was there, and I'm like, there's Stephanie with her current boyfriend and her two ex-lovers at the same time.
Yeah. She's racking them up. She's getting close to Kate, but I don't know.
Hey, hey. Hey, hey. SmackDown on Diva of DOOL.
I don't
Back
know.
it on up, sister.
Wait. No. Kate hasn't had any of those three, right? No. Okay.
One of them's her
Not
son,
yet.
so
Not
Not
yet.
yet.
Alex may no, not Alex. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Chad, that wouldn't happen.
No,
But
not yet.
yeah, but she's always been
Yes.
very
She's happy
motherly.
with Roman now.
Yeah. Okay. So Gabby confided in Hobby that she basically betrayed the Kiriakis with Tony.
I don't know if that was so smart of her. Because all that Hobby has to do is tell Leo, and Leo will
Jeez.
go tell somebody.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or it'll somehow get back to Philip.
Wonder if he's gonna slip up though and tell Leo. That's what I would be concerned about. Is Leo finding out?
Yes. And Gabby knows how Leo is, which I can't understand why well, she said she swore to Hobby not to say anything. They must have this thing. No, nope, he's not going to say anything. So somehow he's going to let it slip, though, I think. Phillips.
Yeah.
Because I think Gabby's really into Philip now. I think she really
Yeah.
likes Philip.
Yes, so Sarah was near the pub and Sandra comes over when she has the baby. And she basically kind of runs into the pub and doesn't want him around Victoria. It was Philip actually stops talking to Kate to go talk to Xander. And it was funny. He's like, I looked through the window and I saw the most handsome man in the world. And I'm like, what?
Aw.
They're so funny.
Wait, what was that?
Philip said to Xander that he saw him through the window and he was the most handsome man in the world.
He's hilarious. I love
I'm telling you,
him.
they're really having a bromance, man.
Big time.
Yes. I like them two together better than Xander and Sarah.
Yeah.
Well, and Gabby did mention how she loved Philip's sense of humor when she was talking to Hobby. I mean, she
Mhm.
listed several things that she liked about him, but his
Mhm.
sense of humor was
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
John
And I was
Paul Bossier is playing Philip this time.
thinking about that today too, because I did like Jake Kenneth, but he was just too intense as Philip. Like, I mean, he was, once in a while he would have a funny scene, but to me, it was just like a negative intensity coming from him, and he was kind of made you comfortable to watch him sometimes. There was some Cat stuff. So Cat revealed her mother has dementia.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
And
and
there
that's
was
why
some like,
Chad was hugging her. That's why Chad was hugging her because he had just
That's why Chad, yeah.
gotten off the call and said that the trauma that her mom had been through, the doctors think that trauma may have sent her into early
Dementia.
They said
dementia
dementia.
and early onset. That's the word I was looking for. And Chad just happened to be there, and that's why he hugged her. And you know what? That's why I'm like, I love Thomas, but I'm kind of like, he's my diva of the week. If it's not Abe, Abe or diva or him, because Thomas is going to have to understand, even though he's a little kid, that Chad still has a right to be a human being.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah, and
and
they're
I'm
going
kind
to
of
run
sick.
into each other. Yeah,
Yeah.
Chad needs to explain that
And
to him.
every time he says hello to Kat, he's not betraying his son, kind of thing.
Right.
But that's why it's kind of like Sammy Jr.
Yep. Pretty much.
But I'm sure Jennifer will have jumped to the wrong conclusion too, no doubt.
Yeah, beats it.
Which she should know better too. So
Yep.
so,
Especially with her mother's mental
yeah,
illness. Well,
yeah,
not
or
that
just like
dementia.
they're
yeah, earlier in the week, Jen told Thomas that he can't go with her to Boston, that he needs to stay with his dad in Salem. And so he does see Chad consoling Kat, and he runs out in traffic from the
Oh, that's
square.
right. That's how it ended. I
Yeah.
forgot.
Yeah.
Really, they ought to put up some bollards there, I think, because
You would
this is
think.
like, let's see, Ariana was run over there.
Yeah.
Sarah was run over there.
Run over
Now,
there.
Thomas, who else? I mean, there's a long list of people. They need to invest in some bollards and
Yeah, it's just getting as bad as.
I was gonna say, this is like, yeah.
I thought Ariana was near the Demira house though when she got hit.
So she was near the pub.
Yeah, I thought she was sort of downtown or somewhere. Yeah, either near the pub. Yeah, it could have been in front of the pub. But anyway, down there somewhere. I don't know how it's all geographically set up. They all seem to be able to walk from one place to the other. So
Yep.
Well, they
Yeah.
And the only time they're in a car is when they're gonna have an accident.
do.
Yes.
Because they
That's
don't drive very often. When they do, they just like what they're doing.
they're rusty.
Well, yeah, I know all about that, especially since I hit a deer last week. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you
How's your,
didn't know? Yeah.
how's your
No, she's fine. Trust me, she's fine. It's my car that got.
Usually the deer
Right.
hits you. You don't hit the deer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah.
The
I
deer
mean,
hits you.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was so close to missing her. I mean, if I would have just hit the brakes a second sooner, I would have missed her. But no, she's fine. She ran off. So,
Yeah.
well,
So you
but
still have to get the car in to be fixed, or is it in
I'm
process?
waiting on parts, and then it's getting
Yeah.
fixed, and it's
Yeah.
gonna take about a week in December. Because they're also booked up too.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how my
Yeah.
situation was too. I didn't hit a deer. I just hit a moving gate. But
Mhm.
it took me. That's a whole other story. It was
Well,
ice. I hit ice and hit my
I
own
backed
gate.
into
Yeah.
a stone wall.
You backed into
Yeah.
what?
A stone wall.
Oh,
Man.
Yeah. Had to get my bumper fixed.
yeah, yeah.
Not fun. But a couple years ago, a deer ran into my car, totaled it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've had deer hits too. So you
I
can't live in
know.
Pennsylvania and not get hit
Or New
by a
York.
deer. Yeah.
We have them
Yeah.
here
At some
too,
point in your lifetime.
And I can't say that I blame them. They're like, they were here first.
Yep.
We've just
Yeah.
decided to build out into the country and stuff
Yeah.
all the way
They
out
keep
far from
tearing down the woods. Where are they gonna go?
Yeah.
Well, that's why I'm very pro hunting, very pro eating deer. That they taste wonderful and they have very little fat to them. But I just
Yeah.
say
We deer.
too, with just deer though, I did see something on YouTube. It's something about like headlights, like with their eyes. Their eyes
like
kind of can't have.
Chloe.
Deer in the
deer-
headlights.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they
Like
literally
a deer.
like it
Yeah.
makes them freeze.
Yeah.
But I hit my
Uh-huh.
deer at 9:30 in the morning. Like there was not a headlight problem there. She was just dumb and thought she was gonna make it.
Yeah.
So
And I don't think they
They
have
don't stop and
peripheral
look both
vision
ways.
either.
no.
They just
My
run.
favorite joke is someone wrote into a paper once saying that the city needed to move the deer crossing sign because there's too many deer crossing on that sign. I love that one. That's
Oh.
fantastic.
Oh, God.
That's a true story. Someone, yeah, said that they need to move the
Believe
deer
that.
crossing sign someplace with less traffic. Yeah.
As a little kid driving up riding up to the mountains in Arizona and seeing one of those deer crossing signs. I just still have this memory of picturing all these deer lining up and walking across.
Let's wait till we see one.
I think I had to ask, what does that mean? Deer X or whatever. My parents were like, deer crossing. And then my imagination was like, oh. And I was thinking, how do they know to line up? But yeah, a
Right.
grown adult riding in, that's a little scary.
Yeah. You think that's bad? I've had to stop for turkey crossing.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Turkeys.
I have to tell a story. My ex was driving, and my oldest son was in the back seat. He was little. He was still in the car seat, and a deer ran into the car where my son was. So that was
Oh.
scary because
Oh my
the deer
gosh.
could have, crashed through the window. And my son said to his dad, he goes, "Dad, Santa lost one of his reindeer." That was so cute.
Sweet, but
Can you imagine? But yeah, I guess the deer was okay because if that deer would have died, I think Kirk would have had a really hard time knowing that
Yes.
Santa's reindeer died.
He killed Santa's reindeer.
He killed Rudolph. The
Well, I'm
little
glad he
stuff.
didn't die for real. I'm glad your son wasn't hurt.
Yeah, that was the main thing because I think the hooves actually did hit the window. Yeah.
Man.
So they could have the deer could have went through the window. So Mark starts to learn about his job and he meets Dr. Rolf.
No.
Yes. Dr. Rolf is back.
Yeah. Which I guess so we still don't know what the hell they're doing
No,
in that
he did
next.
say it was about Versavec, the drug, but that's just a
Wow.
cover. He did tell because Mark wanted to know, and he said, "Well, it's all about that drug, but it's probably not. I'm sure it's not. It's something else. If Dr. Rolf's involved, it's
It's something weird.
is it somebody bringing somebody back from the dead again, or something? Putting a chip in someone's head? I don't know.
Oh, dear. Yeah,
Yeah,
they
I don't
did.
think I'm not
Well,
ready
and
for
here's
another.
go ahead. I'm sorry.
I don't
Yeah,
think.
I'm interested in a sci-fi storyline at this point.
Me either. But
Yeah,
what's tricky is Mark's sister, maybe unbeknownst to him, is an undercover, like
I guess he doesn't know. No, yeah, he probably doesn't know either.
Interpol or whatever, ISA
ISA.
agent. And she's investigating the very thing her brother's going to be working on.
Working.
So
Yes, and she
that's
told him
gonna
to be
interesting.
careful when she heard
Mhm.
that he was gonna
And
do
also,
research
I
for
don't know
EJ.
how. Yeah, and I don't know how EJ did not have non-disclosure agreements already out there for his new employee to talk to.
Yeah, because he's going to end up in the witness protection program like you, Anna.
Yep.
You and Mark Green.
Live and learn. Live and learn. Don't follow my example.
Okay, so with the college scene, Ollie is actually trying to study during Halloween in a costume, which is a little odd. Bless you. And Ari talks her into having some fun, and at the same time, too, Tate starts complaining to Aaron that basically Holly's no fun and he can't spend any time with her. She's being hot and cold, and four of them all end up together at the square, and Aaron go off together, and Aaron's comforting Ari, and Holly said something to me that to Tate that I thought was interesting. She said she didn't want her life to be all about Tate or all about a boyfriend,
Nice.
which was it was
'cause-
legit.
Yeah, and plus she's
Well,
been
good
on
for
this
her.
roller coaster with him for
Yeah.
the duration of the 14-month pregnancy with of Sophia. That she's probably like, I would really like to not have my whole entire day wrecked every single time because of your drama. you know. So basically, but I thought that was healthy that she said that, and he said, and I need to do the same. We both need to have. So I thought that was good because sometimes kids go to college and they don't experience fun things just in general because they already have a boyfriend or girlfriend, and then they don't go out and spend time with their friends or do anything, else. So I don't know. I thought that was kind of a healthy conversation for them to have.
Yeah, I gotta say, I actually was in that situation, and yeah, my whole college basically memories is all about being with my ex because we met in college. So yeah, and I was a commuter too. I didn't live on campus, so that also kind of made it hard to make friends because
Yeah.
I was just in there for classes and I was out. I worked every weekend too, so I really didn't have that much,
Yeah,
extra time to
I was in the same.
socialize.
I worked full time too.
Yeah, and I didn't live on campus either.
So I mean, which I gotta say, if I think I would lived on campus, that wouldn't last long.
I don't think I would have liked it.
And my college was very conservative too. You were only allowed to have a guy come over to visit like for a couple hours on a Saturday. And this is so funny. Lights on, shoe in the door, feet on the floor.
My
That
God.
that was the rule. Yeah. And that was the 90s. That wasn't a million years ago. That was the 90s.
The 90s.
What did
Yeah.
they do? Bed checks?
I actually know people who got kicked out of school because they had a cleaning service and they found condoms in the one girl's dorm room. Kicked her and her boyfriend out. Yep. Nope.
Damn.
No
Yeah.
porking it. Yeah.
Well,
So
at least they were
I'm glad
using
I didn't.
protection. I got to give them credit for
Yeah.
that. Jeez.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was not a fun call.
Oh, we want to go to that one.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't go at all. So I was working at 18 full time.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it should be interesting how Holly and Tate, how they handled the relationship. He pretty much agreed with her, but I mean, he was wrapped up in her bullshit in the beginning too.
Yeah.
His
Yeah.
life got ruined with her drug use, and I don't know why I forgot this. I learned Thomas was the one who set the pumpkin after her. So I think it,
Yeah.
yeah. So it, actually hit her that, hey, this kid's pretty serious about
Yeah.
her and shit.
Yeah. Yeah. The look on her face
Yeah.
was kind of like, oh,
Yeah.
Damn.
And I did like that Chad the way Chad talked with Thomas was very good too, more or less. Yeah, he was
yeah.
blaming Rachel. He said, "Yeah, but you went along with it." You
Yep.
know what I
Right.
mean? It was He was trying to say, "Oh, well, it was Rachel's idea." He said, "Yeah, but did you go along with it?" Yeah. You're
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
as
That was
guilty.
good.
And he
That was
made him
good too.
apologize to
Yeah.
Alex for hitting Alex. So
Yep.
yeah.
Yes. Yes. Brady and Chad did the good dad things this week.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because, I mean, these kids have both had a lot of trauma in their lives, but at the same time, you create monsters if you don't deal with really dangerous,
Yes.
bad
Right.
behavior.
Well,
So I think they both were sensitive but firm, but we'll
Yeah.
see because
yeah.
now Thomas is going to throw another fit. Ugh. And Jennifer
The
had
PR
just
did.
pumped him up with, your dad is completely done, that they're completely over.
Yes.
Even though she admitted when they were at the paper,
Boy.
the office, that the Spectator, that she admitted, I know that you're going to be, this is a small town, you're going to be running into each other. Well, she should have said that to Thomas too. Like, keep in mind, it's a small town. And just because you might see them running into each other or any random, they might be at the same restaurant or store or something like that. It's bound to happen. Just try to understand that doesn't mean that they're back together or something.
Yeah.
Okay, so Diva of the Week for Devo.
Thomas.
Thomas.
Abe's a good one
I would,
too. Thomas, but yeah.
Yeah, Abe was mine last week, but I don't know.
Abe
I
was
think
getting on my
he's kind
between
do we have a
with him
category for asshole?
well, yeah. Oh, that's probably about I didn't like
see. No,
how
I
Abe
was
was acting.
thinking, yeah, I was thinking Rachel this week though, but she is the one who talked Thomas into chucking the pumpkin, and she was getting sassy with Susan
Yeah.
and
And she threw a
Yeah,
fit when
right.
she got punished.
Yep.
Yes.
But I don't know.
And
Yeah.
Thomas was sorry for what he did. And you could tell Thomas was
yeah,
sorry.
Rachel was
Rachel
sorry.
was
Yeah.
not sorry. She'd do it
Yeah.
again in a heartbeat.
I think
Yep.
Brady knows that
He
she takes
knows.
a lot after her mother.
Yeah.
I love that he
Yeah,
recognized those patterns.
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah.
and Rachel already had an excuse ready to go if they got caught too. She's like telling Thomas, "Oh, if we get caught, you'll be fine. Don't worry about it."
Oh, it was a mistake. Yeah. No, it
Yeah.
wasn't.
Yeah. So, are we going with Miss Rachel, or did you want to go with Thomas or Abe?
I think they all kind of are.
Yep.
But I think they all fit. But yeah,
We
Rachel.
all have different ones.
Yeah,
Abe.
that seems like that happens every week. Yeah. All right. So the spoilers for next week, we have Holly and Tate, and they are interviewing Marie and Julie about the Horton family. And the gala's going to start next week. Kristen looks like she's been kidnapped. She had a blindfold on her. Yeah, Sammy's back. We're going to have Eric, Will, Lucas, Mike, Steve Olson.
Steven.
Yeah.
Marie.
Oh, Julie's brother. Cool.
Yeah.
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 Watch Winthrop.
Yeah.
Cass Winthrop. I love him. Yeah.
Yeah.
So hopefully, they do a good
You
job. I'm
think
looking
you would
forward
think
to
Hope would be back.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bill and
The
Hope
most
not being
important
on there.
importance.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not happening, I guess. Huh. Surprised. Bo and Hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody have anything else to add for tonight?
Mm,
All right.
Thanks.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
You guys have
Okay.
a great weekend.
Take care,
Good weekend.
everybody.
Yeah.
All
Bye bye.
right. Bye
All
bye.
right. Good night.